The crypto community seems to be devolving into an all-out Roman Colosseum gladiator type battle with Elon Musk, and it is getting ugly. I'm going to tell you why it doesn't matter, why you should zoom out and just start buying Bitcoin, take a look at the charts and all the news, and tell you why I think that. Let's go. What is up, everybody? I'm Scott Melker, also known as the Wolf of Wall Streets. Before we get started, please subscribe to the channel. Go ahead and hit that like button. Well, we were thinking it could have been a bottom at the end of last week, but it was not to be. This weekend was ugly and only continued to devolve with more tweets from Elon Musk and the crypto community absolutely going insane. Right? Everybody's attacking Elon Musk. Elon Musk is interacting with scam accounts and fake accounts and going back after them to explain himself. Never thought that I would see this happening with a billionaire, but here we are. But none of that really should matter. Bitcoin is much stronger than tweets from Elon Musk, and that's not really the underlying story, right? As we know, usually when a correction is happening, all of the FUD and negative news and all of this piles on, but a single man talking about Tesla not accepting Bitcoin for cars is not the reason that this is happening. And he has not sold any of his Bitcoin. He publicly said that. I wouldn't be surprised if they were actually buying, but that's a tin hat theory for another day. Let's just go ahead and take a look at the charts and see what they are telling us instead of speculating about what's going on. First, we have the weekly chart here for Bitcoin. Now, as I've pointed out before, these are all the terrible, quote unquote, terrible weekly candles that we've seen since the correction down below 4,000 last year. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this is the 7th. The other 6 were all candles that should have been bad, but were followed by price action to the upside. They actually ended up not meaning anything. So we have 6 out of 7 to set precedent of what could likely happen. Further, as you can see from the blue arrows, we had this exact candle in February, basically from the same level. This one started at 57,298. This one was at 58,054. This one closed before at around 45,000. This one closed at around 46,000. So we have some precedent to see. And this candle right here, if it turns green or gray in my case this week, would look almost exactly like this one with another wick down and price and heading up. Yes, this wick went a little deeper, but it went exactly to the 61.8% fib of the move from the 27,678 lows all the way to the 64,899 highs, which lines up perfectly with this support and resistance. That is a line in the sand for sure at 41,986 that will bear watching. Also, interestingly, we've seen still decreasing volume on Bitcoin on the weekly. Now, taking a look at the daily chart, there's an indicator that I don't use that often, but used to. It's stochastic RSI, not to be confused with plain stochastic. As you can see, it is completely bottomed out with a potential cross of the blue line up of the gray line. That usually leads to price movement back up. When stochastic RSI bottoms out, you expect that you will see at least a relief bounce. So that is a positive. Now listen, we talked about the failure to break 58,986 up here. These 3 bearish SFPs, those ended up being a really, really good top signal. Of course, I've been buying Bitcoin. I'm an investor. I don't care. But if you were looking to short Bitcoin or sell some as a trader, that might have been a spot to do it. Now we have penetrated all the way through this key red demand zone and are holding that last line of defense right around 41,986. We definitely would love to see the daily close above this red, but certainly definitely not down below. As I've said before, the next area of support is between 37,000 and 39,000. Of course, you have the psychological level of 40,000. If this continues down, the trend clearly is down for the moment. Those are the areas you'd be looking to buy and for a bounce. I bought a few times on the way down, most recently at 46,000. Not concerned at all. I am buying as a savings account for the very long term, and price action in the short term has nothing to do with my long-term conviction or the value of Bitcoin. Now, looking at the 4-hour, we did have a very clean break of this range. That is not a positive, and we did it on extremely increased volume. When you zoom into the 4-hour, this was the range that we had between 64,850 and 47,000. So we had those lows swept a few times, which looked encouraging, but now we've broken down and likely see it come back up here, retest as resistance. This is a classic short for anyone who likes to short. I am not shorting. I am not using leverage. I would not trade it because we know what Bitcoin can do, but that would be a classic short on the retest. So that is definitely worth watching right now. We can also, though, draw this idea right here, right? a descending channel, not a bull flag. People often call them bull flags just because they're descending channels. It's at the bottom of a flagpole, but this should take us back up to the highs of that, which is around 51,551. This is a technically bullish pattern that should statistically break to the upside. So you'd be looking for something like this and heading back up. Now, of course, all I care about in this world seemingly is bullish divergences and bearish divergences. Well, this is the daily. We have a potential bullish divergence, but barely. With this low and this low and this low and this low, we need to see RSI make a definitive move to the upside to see that on the daily. But honestly, at this point, we've seen overbought RSI up here many times. We want to actually see it come down and touch oversold, because that means it's made the trip from overbought to oversold, which you generally expect and want to see. So that would invalidate any bullish divergence, but would get us oversold. 12-hour. Potential bullish divergence from here to here and here. We need to see RSI make that turn and go up. We did hit oversold on the 12-hour. 6-hour bullish divergence for days, but has been happening all the way since upward 49,000. I started buying around 48,000 based on these bullish divergences, and we're almost 10% below that price now. That shows you nothing's a sure signal, but it does show a bottom forming, which I talked about. You're not trying to catch a bottom, so leverage would have been very, very bad, and I would have gotten stopped out trading with leverage, but you're forming a bottom, making bigger and bigger and bigger divs, which is continued. And of course, the 4-hour, where we've had continued bullish divergence, had one here, have this whole one here, have one from here to here. But of course, important to note, each of these bullish divergences has been followed by a hidden bearish divergence, a higher high in RSI and a higher low. You could even consider this one right here. So a lot of indecision, I would say, with what's happening. But with these levels of oversold and daily pushing over into oversold and bullish divergences, we should at least see some relief in the near future. So just to summarize, the bullish case, if it breaks up, we'll be looking at 51,000, 52,000, and then we'll really need to see what happens. And if it continues to break down, probably the psychological level of 40K, and then that zone 37K to 39K below. Let's dive very quickly into all of the news that's driving the markets. Banking system consumes 2 times more energy than Bitcoin. Research from Galaxy, Mike Novogratz's firm, says that Bitcoin stands at 114 terawatt hours, while the banking industry consumes over 260 terawatt hours each year. They admittedly said, listen, this is a bit of conjecture. We don't know exactly how much the banking system does. Do we count the cell phones of the employees, the air conditioner in the branch, the electricity it takes to run the ATM? There's a lot of power that goes into the banking system. And it's also important to note that gold, as you can see down here in the chart, gold is almost as much as the banking system. And I think that's a much more apt comparison, because everyone wants to compare Bitcoin to gold. But even if it's double, Bitcoin is not exactly half the market cap of gold. So Bitcoin is still taking a disproportionate level of electricity based on its actual value or market cap. But that said, we all know that renewables are in the future and that miners are moving to using wasted energy. And that is not really the case with gold or the banking system. So this is fun to discuss, but still important to note. Bitcoin does have a slight electricity and energy problem, but it is being resolved. And that problem is much bigger in scale in other comparable systems. Elon Musk tweets, Bitcoin price bottom. Coincidentally, when he finally said, hey, Tesla hasn't sold any Bitcoin, I haven't sold any Bitcoin, right here to clarify speculation, Tesla has not sold any Bitcoin, he wrote on Monday, was when we bounced from around 42,000. Going back to the chart, you can see that was exactly at that 61.8% retracement, 41,896. My friend Alex Kruger even made a joke about it. He said, Elon Musk must be an outstanding technical analyst. His Tesla has not sold any Bitcoin tweet was posted exactly at Bitcoin's key technical level, the 61.8 fib. So here are a few things that we can watch fundamentally on Bitcoin. Obviously, we have Musk's tweets, which seemingly send the market up and down, although we know that's probably not the case. Bitcoin dominance falls below 40%. That's notable because it means altcoins have not actually gotten destroyed on their Bitcoin pairs, which is nice to see. We would hate to see Bitcoin dominance going up with Bitcoin price crashing. That would be really bad for Bitcoin and alts. Bitcoin fundamentals provide calm. Hash rate is good. Everything is good fundamentally. Nothing has changed. That's really important to note. And Bitcoin still beats its last bull market. Among the industry's best known names, there's no hint of bearishness. All that remains to do is analyze the nature of the current retracement and compare it to years past. Completely normal. We've seen Peter Brandt talk about it quite a bit. Right now, we have a 35% retracement off the top. That happened about 9 times between 2015 and 17. And this is the biggest retracement now by percentage since March 2020. But everything that's happening with a 35% retracement is completely normal. Next article, yay or nay, new petition demands Elon Musk sell all his Bitcoin. The Doge father has gone too far for some Bitcoin hodlers and should allow a better custodian to own them instead. This is so stupid. It's completely contrary to the ethos of Bitcoin, which is that it's money for every person. It's not just money for people that you like this week. Just because everyone's mad at Elon Musk right now does not mean that he does not have the right and his company does not have the right to hold Bitcoin. Also, do you really want them to dump billions and billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin on the market because you have hurt feelings? Yes, perhaps Elon Musk is vacillating. I don't love what he's doing with Doge, but he has the right, just like everyone else, to hold Bitcoin, and it's been exceptionally good for the market. People seem to forget that we were in the 30,000s until Tesla bought Bitcoin, which set price higher to the levels where we are now. I think that this is getting absolutely out of control. Bitcoin maximalists are going insane, going after Elon Musk, telling him to sell his Bitcoin. The other side is him defending himself now, often to scam accounts, which I can show you right here. Mr. Whale, Crypto Whale, known scammer in the past under other account names, said Bitcoiners are going to slap themselves next quarter when they find out Tesla dumped the rest of their Bitcoin holdings. With the amount of hate Elon Musk is getting, I wouldn't blame him. Elon Musk responded, indeed. That sent price crashing before he saved it by saying they had not sold it. But Mr. Whale is an actual scammer from the past. Elon Musk obviously doesn't know that and is responding. But guys, this is spiraling absolutely out of control. Elon Musk, for whatever you think about him, has the right to own Bitcoin just like you do. Bitcoin Ethereum usage fees drop 70 to 80% as market slide continues. No surprises there that the fees would be going down as the market is absolutely dumping. This is a great thing. I really recommend that you check Caitlin Long's Twitter thread. She's absolutely incredible. It'll give you a lot more insight into what's happening here. But she said, Caitlin Long reveals the real reason people are selling crypto. Markets can now safely predict Bitcoin and crypto prices will likely exhibit high correlation with credit markets. Why? Because the Tether backing report came out. A lot of people said that it was bullish, that Tether looked fully backed. She said it is fully backed, but it's fully backed by very risky assets, or at least we don't know that they are safe assets. Let's see what she said right here. In a series of Saturday tweets, Caitlin Long said that Tether Holdings Limited's breakdown of Tether's reserves were not invested in short-term, lower-risk liquid securities, but rather credit assets of who knows what quality. The Avanti CEO claimed traders may have felt compelled to sell their cryptocurrencies to reduce their total risk exposure, given that the stablecoin, ranked 6th with a 58 billion market cap, has the potential to bring down other tokens amid a credit market correction. According to Tether Holdings Limited report, 75.85% of USDT backing is formed by cash and equivalents, with commercial paper accounting for 65.39% of this category. Long claimed any potential fallout in markets will have been entirely avoidable if Tether had invested more in treasury bills. Only 2.94% of its total cash equivalents, other short-term deposits and commercial paper, rather than assets with seemingly higher risk. Basically, she's saying that these cash equivalents may not be of the highest degree. This bears watching, but it is interesting. They have told this to the New York Attorney General, who seems fine. And finally, to give a light note to the end, Crypto Twitter donates $800,000 in cryptocurrency to child who had leukemia. It was great to see the community come together. One account posted it saying, hey man, this kid is recovered, but his family needs money for the bills. Got in touch with the family, and it spiraled beautifully out of control from there, with people giving absolutely massive donations. Guys, that is it for today. I will be live streaming at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Again, check out everything I got going on in the description, including Femex and my newsletter. Subscribe to the channel, hit that like button. And guys, Elon Musk is not enough to crash the market. Bitcoin is much stronger than one eccentric billionaire. Peace.